Hello everyone, welcome once again to Expert Up. Nice coming right here to share a few things with you. If you're an existing subscriber, thank you for always coming here and thank you for always sharing our content. If you're a new viewer, don't forget to smash the notification bell and subscribe so that as soon as we drop an update, you'll be the first person to get the update. This year so far, there's been good news left, right, and center. Fortunately, some of our clients here at Expert Ops, those people who contacted us and we're working together with, are already part of those who are getting the good news. And I do want you as well to get part of the good news and also understand what we are preaching, what we are pushing to some of the people who are contacting us, who are getting services from us. All right, one thing that is clear and one thing that is certain is that Canada is serious. Canada is serious about bringing in more immigrants, more than any other country. Compare it to New Zealand, compare it to Australia, compare it to the United States of America, compare it to Germany and any other country. Canada is top notch when it comes to immigration. And guess what? They are still bringing in more and more people. So today we're just going to be looking at the implication of what Canada is doing and how you can benefit from it. Don't stay afloat. Get into the mix, get into the game, and take the bull by the horn when the time is still available. So recently, Canada have been doing quite a number of draws, and I have always told this to some people who contact me personally, and I say to them what they should do. So before I will tell you what you should do, let's look at some of the draws that have been done by Canada in this year 2024 for you to know that Canada means business. So there have been about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 draws this 2024 alone. So it's just been about 7 weeks and we've got 7 draws in 2024. So we could say 8 weeks, but 7 draws in 2024. So the first draw was January 10, second draw January 23rd, third draw January 31st, fourth draw February 1, fifth draw February 13, sixth draw February 14, and the seventh draw just yesterday, day before yesterday, that's February 16th. That was the seventh draw. And many people are using this opportunity to get ITA, which is invitation to apply to Canada for permanent residency. So what is the implication? What are we seeing that most people are not seeing? You remember that with the express entry draw, what you basically need is to get into the draw and you would be assessed based on your CRS score. So, and in the last year, that is in 2023, majorly CRS score for ITA was as high as 500, 490 something, 480 something, 505, 501, and so on. But the reality is changing. Canada is focusing more on occupations. Canada is focusing more on occupation. So occupation-based draws, or language-based draw. So those two things, Canada are focusing more on occupation-based draw or language-based draws. So when we are talking about language, you are looking at getting additional score for French. And when we are looking at occupation, we are looking at occupations that have been highlighted as area that are in demand in Canada. And you as well, it is better for you to position yourself so that as soon as Canada does the draw, you can be selected. So let's look at how many draws we mentioned. So it's been 7 draws this 2024 alone. Out of those 7 draws, we have only 4 draws that are general draws. So the general draw is regardless of your occupation, whether you're an accountant, whether you are an engineer, whether you're a soil scientist, those are general draws. And The general draws have been 4 general draws. So the minimum score for the general draws so far, if I look at it, the one done on January 10 is a general draw and it's 546 CRS. It's very high. Possibly those who will be selected are those who've got additional 600 points from provincial nomination, or those that are very young and experienced and have a master's degree and check and have maxed their IELTS score. The general draw in January 23rd as well is 543. General draw January 31st is 541. And general draw February 13 is 535. Look at those values. It is practically impossible for anyone who is over 30 to be selected in those general draws. Practically impossible for anyone over 40 to be selected, except they've got, I don't know, but practically impossible. 535, 543, those are very high. But quite a number of people are within the age bracket of 30 and 40, and they're already benefiting from the switch that Canada is applying in the selection for of ITA. They're benefiting already. And what is that switch all about? Occupation based and language based draw. So if I did the calculation for all the general draws, the calculations for all the general draws that Canada have performed only in 2024, it amounts to 4760. So 4,760 invitation to apply have been issued out. 4,760. This is to say that only 4,700 people have received invitation to apply. But let's look at the other draw that has been done by Canada. So like I mentioned, there is the general draw and there is occupation and French language category. So the occupation and French language category, I'll put them together because they are narrowing it down to occupation and your competence in another language aside from English, which in this case is French. So the first draw this year was the French category, French language proficiency draw. That's the French category. It was done February 1st. And the number of ITA was 7,000. 7,000. Guys, 7,000. That alone is more than the entire general draw that has been done in 2024. 7,000. The next draw was, okay, looking at the French language draw, the one that the number of ITA was 7,000. The minimum CRS score that qualifies was 365. 365. That was 365. Just imagine how low it is. So if you are the type that you are considering migrating to Canada, you should consider writing the French exam. If you can make a plan for 4 months, I've seen people do it for 4 months, intensive studying. You can get an online teacher, and already you stand a chance to be selected for permanent residency in Canada under the French category. So the next occupation draw was on February 14th. That's Valentine's Day, and 3,500. 3,500. So if you're an healthcare professional, you are an health assistant, you are a physiotherapist, a nurse, this is the opportunity. If you have a master's degree or one of your spouse has a master's degree, this is an opportunity to apply. And the minimum CRS score was 422. That's quite low compared to the general draw that is as high as 541. And then on February 16th, that was 2 days ago, an agriculture and agri-food occupation draw was conducted, and the minimum CRS score was 437. Although because of the agric field, it was quite low in terms of the number of ITA. They only had 150. So if you add up the occupation draw and the French language category together, you can already see that that's way more than what is available for the general draw. That goes as high as 10,650 invitation to apply when compared to 4,760. This is to tell you that Canada is focusing more on specific draws, such as the health category draw or the French language draw. And if you are positioning yourself to move to Canada, one of the best things you can do for yourself this year is to position yourself in the line of occupation specific. So agriculture, construction, healthcare, and if you are the type that you do not have occupation in these categories of occupation, you may just want to look in the section of language, and with your intensive studying over the period of 4 months, you may just be able to get to intermediate level of French, and that's more than enough to give you an additional point that will upscale your CRS score such that you'll be selected for ITA in Canada. I do hope that this information is relevant for you. Don't forget to give it a push. Canada is calling, Canada is inviting, and Canada is going to be doing quite a number of invitations this year, particularly in the first quarter and the second quarter. So position yourself, go ahead and apply. If you have watched this video up to this point, thank you very much. Don't forget to continue to share our content. See you in the next one.